I want to talk about Call of Duty because I love Call of Duty, so I figured in this video we would do a Call of Duty tier list. This is definitely original, right? Everyone never thought to do something like this, but now here I am. No, I'm just joking. Everyone's done one of these. This is my list. Everyone has their own, but I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments below. As you see, I already sorted out the video games that I've never played in the Call of Duty franchise. That includes anything before COD 4 and all those, like the Call of Duty Online I never played, some of those weird Black Ops ones I never played, and I've played Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies on mobile, but I barely remember it, so I don't want to include it. So they're all sorted out, but anyway, let's jump right in. We're actually going to go directly in order. So I'm going to start with Modern Warfare, and I'm going to put it where it belongs, in A tier. Call of Duty Modern Warfare is the game that kicked off everything. It is the start of Call of Duty, and yes, there were Call of Duties before, but this one really set the stage. It enabled kill streaks, custom classes, and all the awesome maps that it came with. It really was the start of everything, and I remember playing this game and just having such a blast on this game. However, the reason it's not an S tier, which people could argue that it is an S tier game, and there's nothing wrong with that, but because it's brand new, and because it was pretty bare bones because it was brand new, there's really not much there. When you add on other stuff later in the pipeline, like we will get into, it really makes the game that they created a lot more fun. I think Call of Duty 4 laid down that formula perfectly. I think it's a great game. I have some great memories here on maps like Bog, Shipment, things like that, Crash included, Vacant, all those things. So much fun, even Christmas Crash and all that stuff. It was just a blast. And honestly, I don't have Modern Warfare Remastered on this list, but Modern Warfare Remastered was like one of my all-time favorite Call of Duties because I like how they expanded on it with different guns. Honestly, I know people don't like when they add DLC and like ruin the game and all that stuff, but no, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the original COD 4, fantastic game. Really great game. Modern Warfare Remastered only enhanced it, so I think it sits very well perfectly in A tier. I don't think it's S, I think it's A. But up next, we have Call of Duty World at War, which, believe it or not, I think is a B tier. I don't really think it's as good as Call of Duty 4. That's obviously subject to everyone's opinion. I don't really like Call of Duty World War II settings, and you're going to see a theme of that here, spoiler alert. But this game was good. It wasn't bad. It had some great multiplayer maps. However, the one thing it did have, and I gotta say, if this was the only thing the game had, I would probably put it in an S tier more, but that's Call of Duty Zombies. I love Call of Duty Zombies. That's why I'm not ranking it really any lower, but to me, it's the only thing that stands out in this game. Other than that, it's pretty much a copy and paste of Modern Warfare, just in a reskin setting for World at War, which I don't really love. And there's nothing about that stands out to me other than Zombies. Zombies is a big staple. It could almost make it an A tier or an S tier, but for me, because of everything else that I'm not really a big fan of, I think it sits perfectly in B tier. B tier, by the way, means it's good. It's a good game. It's not a bad game by any means. A tier means it's great, like nearly perfect. And S tier is God tier. That means it is perfect. Anything in C or D, C doesn't mean it's bad. It's just meh. Like it had potential to be better, but it's not like great or even good. D is doo-doo. D is trash. So that's kind of what we're going to go off of, and you'll see in here. But yeah, World at War, I think fits perfectly in B. Good game. Not a great game, not a perfect game. Not bad by any means, just not my favorite. So yeah, that's where we're going to leave that one. And up next, we have the big dog. And the big dog is Modern Warfare 2, and that's an easy S tier. Like, is there even a question about that? Does anyone think it doesn't belong in S tier? I don't think so. I'm not going to waste too much time talking about that because every single person who has played Modern Warfare 2 when it came out knows that this was an S tier game. And if you say any other game is better than it, you're just fucking wrong. I'm sorry. Like, there's entries in here that will go in S tier, and we're going to get into some of them, but nothing at all comes close to Modern Warfare 2. It set the precedent. It set the bar. Every other game here either tries to replicate it in some way or another, or can't even come close to doing so. This game is iconic. It really is. Everything from the missions like No Russian, the multiplayer maps themselves, which every single one of them except Derail really was bangers. Derail was like the only one that was like okay, and for it to be okay, it's still great, because let me tell you, there's some entries in this list that we're gonna get into where the maps just fucking suck. They make Derail look like a perfect map. That's saying something. This game is just so amazing. I remember I don't know, it was 2009 when this came out, so I was probably 12 years old, maybe 11, something like that when this game came out, and I would come home from school, all my friends would be online, and everything about it is just perfect, man. Every literal thing about this game, even the fact that it was broken, like, the fact that this game was broken makes it nearly perfect, if that makes any sense, and it just blows my mind. One of the things that I think this game does so well that no other Call of Duty ever came close to is the battle chatter, believe it or not. Like, and the sounds, not only just the battle chatter. Think of the sounds of the intervention. Think of the sounds of most of the guns, but specifically the intervention, the deagle in this game, the battle chatters. Like, I'm talking about, like, the ones who say, even just like when you're scrolling through the menus and you hear like the sounds as you're hovering over a different item, or the sounds of a prestige. All of these things in particular just make up for a great Call of Duty. It's the little details, and this game absolutely nails them. Nails the time to kill, nails the guns, nails how everything is overpowered, nails the sounds, which is so fucking important. Maps are perfect. Everything here is perfect. I'm not going to waste too much more time talking about it. You already know this game's perfect, and if anyone says, I'm even going to say this, here's a spoiler alert, if anyone even says Black Ops 2 is better than this game, they're just fucking wrong. Black Ops 2 is a banger, and it is an S-tier Call of Duty, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But Modern Warfare 2? No, that's the real deal. Black Ops 2, very close, but Modern Warfare 2 is better. Just saying. Hands down. That's my hot take. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. Anyway, up next is Call of Duty Black Ops, the original. Now, if I had put World at War in B tier, it's not fair for me to put Call of Duty Black Ops in B tier, even though I personally don't really love this game that much. I think it's a step above World at War, and for that reason, it's going into A tier. Now, there are some ride or die Black Ops fans. I know people who think this is beyond Modern Warfare 2, like the best Call of Duty of all time. I definitely don't see that at all. The one thing that makes this significantly higher for me is the zombies mode in this game. Everything was great from the launch of Kino der Toten, 5, Ascension, Moon, all of those maps. What was the other one? Call of the Dead. Everything was a banger here. The gun selection was a banger here. The setting of this game was a banger. However, there's one thing that a lot of people talked about, saying they loved so much about this game, and it's the multiplayer. I never really felt that way about this game. And again, not saying this is a bad game. It's an A tier. That means it's a great game, almost perfect. But compared to like something like Modern Warfare 2, even compared to Modern Warfare, I don't like the multiplayer that much in this game. I like it more than World of Wars for sure. That's why it's an A tier. But I don't love it as much as people freak out about this game. I'm not as much, and you're going to see a common theme, I'm not as much of a fan of Treyarch games. There's a couple in here that are perfect. But I like the setting and the feel of Modern Warfare games way more. And you'll probably see that bias there. I'm okay if you disagree. There's nothing wrong with that. The campaigns in Call of Duty Black Ops series are fantastic. They're also fantastic in Modern Warfare, but specifically the creative element of the Black Ops franchise is fantastic. On paper, this should be an S-tier game. It's just my personal experience. I don't think it's as good as some of the others we're going to get to on this list. The gold camo in this game, fantastic. Like, absolutely fantastic. It had some amazing maps, Firing Range, Nuketown, Summit, I forget the others, but they were awesome in this map, or in this game. But it's just personal experience. I don't think it's as good as so far Modern Warfare 2 or even Modern Warfare. By the way, you're going to see in things like A tier, S tier, B tier, the Call of Duties, I'm going to put them in order by preference, even in their tier. I'm going to try to at least. we'll get into that. But anyway, yeah, if you disagree, which I'm sure you may, let me know in the comments. But Black Ops, perfect A tier. That's all I got to say about it. Up next, we have Modern Warfare 3, and there's a lot of places this one could go. Some people say it's an S tier. Some people say it's an A tier. Some people would say it's a B tier, C tier, D tier. I don't see D tier that much, but I think it's a perfect B tier. I really do. Now, mind you, up until Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022, this was the most sold Call of Duty game ever, and that's because Modern Warfare 2 was the best video game, like, ever. But Modern Warfare 3 tried to ride off that hype and tried to expand upon it, which is great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. On paper, it sounds like a great idea. However, this game fell short in most ways. This game didn't have as good of a map selection as Modern Warfare 2 or even Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. It had some good maps, don't get me wrong. There was Dome and there was Dome. I don't know, there's not much here. I mean, as far as map selection goes, did not really love what they had. I did love things like One in the Chamber in this game, All or Nothing. I had a blast with those games, and I feel like not a lot of people talk about them, but in this game in particular, it was a lot of fun. But this game was not up to the same par as Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. Not to say it is bad at all, it's still a good game. I had a lot of playtime on this game, but it's just not as good, I guess, of an experience as Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. I think it fits well in B. I liked survival in this game. I remember specifically this game, I liked it the most. I liked the way they did, I think it was the perk system in this game. They changed it up a little bit, and I really liked it. But I didn't like that they got rid of the nuke in this game, and I didn't really think the gun selection was as strong in this game either. Campaign was still great here. Survival, again, I said was great, but I think it really did fall short compared to the original COD 4 and compared to Modern Warfare 2. That's why it's a B tier for me. Don't get me wrong, I have arguably as much playtime in this game as I do in Modern Warfare 2, because I was so hyped for this game to come out. But I do think it fell short compared to the others in the Modern Warfare franchise up to this point. So yeah, that's pretty much where it sits. I wish it was a little bit better, but it's not, unfortunately. So yeah, not much else to say about that one. Anyway, up next, we have a GOAT, and I already spoiled it, Black Ops 2. It is an S tier, and I've purposely put it behind Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, because that is how I feel about it. We already talked about this. But that being said, Black Ops 2, another perfect Call of Duty game. It really is. At this point, if I'm ranking Modern Warfare 2 higher, and I already went in that spiel, but it's because of preference, and it's because that preference is right. Modern Warfare 2 is the better game, but they are both like near perfect games. The map selection in this game is fantastic. The zombies in this game, say what you want about Transit and the other ones, I liked them a lot. I thought they were fantastic. I remember zombies being in its absolute heyday in this game, and there was nothing like it. Nothing like playing Transit with my friends or even playing with randos. It was just such a fun experience. And then you had Farm, Town at launch, and you had a couple others there, and then the DLC for this game was so unbelievably good. Like, I'm talking specifically zombies in that portion, but even the multiplayer, amazing DLC. And also the guns in this game were fantastic. The weapon balancing in this game was fantastic. Sniping in this game was fantastic. Gun, I already mentioned that, but gun camos in this game, fantastic, especially the DLC camos when they added the Pack-a-Punch camos from like the other Call of Duty Zombies maps. But this game all around was just so good. It had Mob of the Dead, it had Origins, it had Buried, it had, I forget what else, Die Rise, which people hate. I loved it. Everything about this game was great. Zombies was great, multiplayer was great, campaign was fantastic. Everything here is great. It's a banger Call of Duty. It deserves to be an S tier. And if we could get every Call of Duty to be like this and Modern Warfare 2, this franchise wouldn't have so much hate. I really don't think it would, even though it's still the best-selling franchise of all time. So it's like, it's not dead or anything like that. I think if we could get games like these two more often, Call of Duty would still be like in its heyday with the COD community. Anyway, that's my spiel about Black Ops 2. It's a banger game, and yeah. But up next, we have a very divisive Call of Duty game, one that is controversial, one that people either hate or think is pretty good and underrated. I actually fall in the latter. I think this game is pretty good and underrated. That being said, it doesn't come close to the others. For that, it's a C tier. Now, don't get me wrong. I do not dislike this game at all. I think this game perfectly fits a C tier description. It's meh, could have been improved. That's exactly how I feel about this game. There's elements to this game that I am obsessed with, though. And that's specifically the DLC season in this game. Starting with Fog, where you had Michael Myers, and then going to other maps like Pharaoh, where you were running around as the Predator. There are just so many perfect DLC maps in this game. This game nailed the DLC content drops. It really did. But other than that, at launch, nothing special. I think what this game was supposed to be was Modern Warfare 4, and I think they had some creative decisions that changed that trajectory and turned this game into a much worse version of Modern Warfare, and they didn't want to put that label on the game, so they tried to branch out and call it Call of Duty Ghosts. That being said, though, I did have a lot of fun with this game, and I actually played this game a ton. So I'm not saying it's trash. I don't think this is trash. I know a lot of people that would put this in a trash Call of Duty. I don't think it is that. I think this this game is very good. It's just not like the others. It could have been improved, and that's how I feel about it. And I gotta say, this game had awesome ideas. Extinction was awesome. I don't care what people say. I know people don't like it compared to zombies, but I actually really did like Extinction. I thought it was a lot of fun. The guns in this game were really good. The sniping was a little weird, but other than that, there's not much else for me to say other than it just played differently than the others. The map selection was a little wonky, like things like Stonehaven and things like that, but yeah. I think there was a map that came with launch called Freeform, something like that. It was the worst map I've ever played in my life, and that alone made this decision easier for me to go in C tier, but I'm kind of joking there. But seriously, if this game launched with the maps it came with in DLC, like if it came with like a Fog and like a Pharaoh and like some of those, this game would have been a lot better. Unfortunately, it didn't, so I think it belongs perfectly in C tier. And here's where you see the shift start to turn. So if you look at all these games we have in S, A, and B. These are the best Call of Duty games of all time. You have World at War, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2. But then, when Call of Duty Ghosts came out, which is funny because it's around the time that the new generation of consoles, at that time, you see Ghost and the quality starts to diminish because you're going to see a pattern here. The next game we have on this list is Advanced Warfare, and Advanced Warfare is also a C tier. I didn't hate this game. I didn't love this game. It was just kind of there. There were elements to this game that I did really like, and I'll be a sheep and just say it. At the time, the supply drops in this game was a really fun system because they had just announced them. It was new and it was exciting. But then that kind of took a turn for the worst over time and they monetized the hell out of it. But in the beginning of this game, before they really started making a move on advanced supply drops, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare had a really fun element with those supply drops because it was like you were earning new content. They had all those custom guns, which was really cool. I remember, I think it's the ASM-10 or something like that. It was like the Speakeasy, the Bow. Those were awesome guns, and they're like the Bow Obsidian, and I forget the other, I think it was literally called the Speakeasy. Those were just awesome variants that you could get in supply drops, and I remember it was so fun to try to aim for those. It was just a blast at the time. But other than that, the maps weren't good. It announced it was the start of this advanced movement. And believe it or not, I know a lot of people in high school when this game came out, I was like, oh, are you getting Advanced Warfare? They were like, no, it looks terrible. But I got it, and I was like, I don't really know what you're talking about. It's a good game. It's not a great game, and yeah, I don't know. I felt that way in the beginning, but over time and looking retrospectively, I don't think it's just a good game. I think it's like a mid game. That's why I'm putting it in C tier. It had some cool elements. The mole, the sniper, was a lot of fun, especially when you were jumping around in advanced jumping with sniping. It was pretty cool, but I didn't like the way this paced out. I don't think advanced movement should ever come back, personally. but it was kind of fun. It was a fun year to experiment with the idea, and I remember when this game finished, when it was like the end of the season, they were about to announce the next game, I remember thinking, please don't be advanced movement, please don't be advanced movement, and then Black Ops 3 came out. We're going to get into that in a minute, but before we do, this game didn't launch with zombies. At first it didn't have one, but then the first DLC season, Season 1, they brought in Outbreak, and a lot of people shit on Advanced Warfare Zombies. I'm not one of those people. I actually really liked it. I thought it was fun, because it didn't take itself seriously. It was very just chillaxed. Outbreak was a great map, and then the others, they were not great maps by any means, but they were fun. This Zombies was fun because it wasn't serious. It was just your arcade shooter zombies, and I actually really do like that. I admire that. So yeah, very similar to Call of Duty Ghost. There are elements that I really liked to this game, but overall the experience I had with it is just meh, could have been better. That's why it's a C tier. Let me know if you disagree down in the comments. But we started to talk about it just a moment ago, but after this game was up, after the year was pretty much done, I was thinking to myself, please don't go back to advanced movement, please. And then Black Ops 3 was announced, and it was advanced movement, and I was so pissed. I was not ready for that. I was like, damn, that really sucks, especially riding off of Black Ops 2. You're gonna have Black Ops 3 have this advanced movement? Like, what a terrible idea. But then the game came out, and this game is an S tier. Boom. Point blank period. This game is an S tier. I fucking love Black Ops 3. Arguably, actually, no, definitely, I like it more than Black Ops 2. And there's some reasons for that. I will say, as far as just the multiplayer alone is concerned, Black Ops 2 arguably had the better map selection, arguably had some guns that were better, some. But where this game really takes its shape here is zombies, and that's why it's a step above Black Ops 2 for me. The multiplayer to me was near perfect. I love Combine, I loved the other maps, and I even loved the DLC season, but Black Ops Zombies is perfect before Zombies Chronicles. You had Shadows of Evil at launch. You had Die Rise, or Darius, that came with it as well at launch. And then after that, you had Dreisendrach, which is the best map of all time, point blank period. Then you had Zetsubou no Shima, which was fantastic. The only one that fell short a little bit here was Revelations. That was okay at best. And I think I'm missing one that's going to come back to me. Oh, Garad Krovi. Banger map. Absolute banger map. And that is all before Zombies Chronicles. But then Zombies Chronicles came out, and it just blew it out of the water. Now you have every Call of Duty map, except for a couple, in one game. And it was just awesome. It was on the next-gen consoles. It was awesome. This game was fun. Multiplayer was a blast. Zombies was literally perfect. Campaign fell short. I'll give you that. But this also had Free Run. This also had Nightmares. This also had Dead Ops Arcade. This game was feature-packed. Through thick and thin, this game is near perfect. I guess you could say near perfect if you're not talking about the campaign, because the campaign I could see is like, eh. That being said, I don't really care for campaigns that much. This game is an S tier for me. Point blank period. If you disagree, which you may, let me know in the comments. I say that for all of them, but I'd love to hear your feedback. I would love to know what you think. This game is an S tier. Deal with it. All right, up next, let's see. We have Infinite Warfare. Infinite Warfare. I'm not going to talk about this one too long because I didn't play it a whole lot. And I actually have a note of what I'm reading here, what I predetermined for where I'm going to pick this. I initially put this game higher than I want to put this. But this is a C tier Call of Duty. I was going to put this in B tier. And I'm going to explain why in a minute, but I think this still fits well in C tier even with what was going to be in B tier. It's very close to me. It could be a B tier or a C tier. But I'll be honest with you, I didn't play a lot of the multiplayer on this game because I spent almost all the time on this game playing zombies. This zombies game was so much fun. I know a lot of people, a lot of the Call of Duty Zombies YouTubers say this one wasn't, similar to Advanced Warfare, but this one didn't take itself seriously, and the maps were awesome. Lee Ross, as the head of the Zombies development in this game, was awesome. The community was awesome. Zombies in Spaceland is literally my favorite Call of Duty map for zombies ever, aside from Dreisendrach. It's Dreisendrach and Zombies in Spaceland. That's like it. They're the top. They are the standard. They're like the best maps. And then the other maps were really good. I know people hated Rave in the Redwoods, but I didn't hate that. I actually loved it. I loved Jay and Silent Bob, and I loved that Kevin Smith was in it. Same with the other ones. I can't remember. I know there's Shallon Shuffle, which is the weirdest name for a Call of Duty Zombies map ever, and Attack of the Radioactive Thing, and Beast from Beyond. Beast from Beyond sucked, by the way. But honestly, this game's maps were very creative, very fun, and I loved the whole Willard Wyler story. I thought it was awesome. The multiplayer is, again, I didn't spend a lot of time in it, but the time I did spend, other than the jetpack movement and stuff like that, it was good. Like, the maps were good. They weren't bad maps at all. I just was sick and tired of the advanced movement. I was done with it. I didn't want it in Black Ops 3, and then after Black Ops 3 came out, I was like, okay, well, yeah, I didn't like it, but the game was still perfect, so whatever. I just hope we go back to normal for the next game. And then Infinite Warfare came out from Infinity Ward, which I'm always excited for an Infinity Ward game, but I was sick of it. And so was everyone. That's why the sentiment was so bad. That's why the dislike ratio on this game was so bad. I didn't play it because of that. I actually spent most of my time playing Modern Warfare Remastered instead of this multiplayer all the time, but I always hopped on Infinite Warfare Zombies. I was actually a sophomore in college when this game came out, and one of my best friends to this date, him and I would go to my dorm, and we would play Zombies in Spaceland from like 11 in the morning to like 8 at night when we had nothing to do. It was awesome. It was so fun, but everything else about this game was just lackluster. Again, there were good maps, but I think it needed improving in the sense that I think this could have just been a boots on the ground Call of Duty and it would have done a lot better. I really do. I didn't play it because it wasn't, and that's unfortunate because if this game arguably came out before Black Ops 3, I think the perception of it would have been a lot higher, but that's just me. We're gonna jump into the first, again, boots on the ground game after this run of advanced movement. And I gotta say, before I get into this, this may get people pissed and whatever, and that's fine, but this is an F tier, or a D tier technically in this list, Call of Duty. I do not like World War II. There are elements that are commendable, such as the headquarters. And the headquarters. That's it. Like, I just don't like this game at all. It launched in a terrible state. It launched with fucking 9 multiplayer maps. 9. And I know Modern Warfare 2022 has only, I think, 10, but they're all good. World War II launched with shit maps. It had London Docks, which was okay, Flak Tower, which was okay, but the rest sucked. Gustav Cannon, doo-doo. Arden Forest, doo-doo. All the other ones, doo-doo. I played a lot of this game. I actually did. I really did. I got my guns to gold. I think I got chrome on my SMGs. I spent a lot of time in this game. I didn't like it though. Like, I spent a lot more time in this multiplayer than I did in Infinite Warfare's multiplayer, and I still think this is an F tier Call of Duty. The zombies fucking sucked in this game. I don't care what anyone says. The zombies was terrible. Multiplayer at launch was terrible. It did get better, but I specifically remember when they finally overhauled it, they also came out with a riot shield, and they came out with the shotguns that had like fire or whatever, and it was just everyone running with a riot shield, spamming the shotguns. And I just hated it. I never, ever enjoyed this one. Played the campaign, didn't like it. There was nothing here. Nothing for me. And again, this is preference-based, but literally fuck this game. I don't like this game at all. Like I mentioned, there are some things I admired about it, and there's 2 more that I want to talk about. I forgot. I'm looking at my list right now. 2 other things. Aside from headquarters, I don't know why that's not a feature in other games, because it is a fun feature. 2 other things, though. The menu music was actually really good. I remember it very well to this day. It was very good menu music, and just like Modern Warfare 2, the battle chatter voices were really fun in this game. And I know, like, that stuff doesn't really matter, but those little elements make a big difference. And if those are the 3 things that I'm pointing out that I liked about this game, but not the multiplayer, not the zombies, then that's a problem. Like, here's a balance, right? We talked about in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 how all the little things added up to making it perfectly. World War II had a couple of those little things, but the rest was dog shit. And you can't put lipstick on a pig. This game is a pig. Don't like it. Fuck this game. I hope we never see something like it again, and I know that is controversial. I know there's a lot of people who will disagree, but fuck this game. Literally. We have the next game, which was something I was very, very excited about, and that was Black Ops 4. And I remember the keynote speech that was like an Apple keynote speech for this game was all about how it's very multiplayer based, which I know a lot of people thought that was a horrible decision. I loved it. I honestly did. I loved the idea when this game was being pitched that it was going to be the most content-driven game, that it was going to be the most rich-filled game for a multiplayer experience, for a zombies experience. I mean, we had 4 maps at launch. It sounded perfect. Like, literally perfect on paper. But it did not. It did not deliver on that promise. We'll get into it in a minute where I'm going to place it. But this game had the most hype I've ever seen for a Call of Duty. I was so unbelievably hyped for this game. Blackout alone was extremely hyped because World War II, by the way, F tier, it sucks. I played Fortnite that whole time, so I was hoping Call of Duty would come out with a Battle Royale, and Black Ops delivered. Black Ops 4 delivered. But it was fucking lackluster, man. We'll get into it. They overpromised so much in this game. And that sucks, and that's why it's a C tier Call of Duty. When this game first dropped, before we had the full seasons, I thought this was an S tier Call of Duty. If we were going just off of the launch week alone, which everyone says, I know, there's a honeymoon phase, totally get it, but if I went off of just that week, this would easily be an S tier Call of Duty for me, but it's not, because as the season went out, as more came to the game, no. I could get behind a couple of things. We're going to get into the zombies maps in a second, but the maps, there wasn't a big selection of them, but they were all really good at launch. The guns were all really good at launch, but the zombies in this game sucked. They finally made a Mob of the Dead remake after it not being in Zombies Chronicles, so we knew it was probably going to come in Black Ops 4. But it sucked. It was so bad. Like, so it's the worst. It's like, in my opinion, the worst zombies map of all time. And then you have Voyage of Despair, which on paper seemed like it could have been the best map of all time. Prime example of them overpromising and under-delivering. It was one of the worst maps I've ever played. 9, people love 9. Don't get me wrong, I do get it. It's a fun map, but it's not anything special. Not like a Shadows of Evil, which was a banger at launch. It's a good map. It's not a great map, though, so it was disappointing there. 5 was not great. It wasn't horrible. I mean, some would say they made some good improvements on it from Black Ops 2, but I had to pay for that. I actually didn't pay for it because I didn't want to pay for the shit in this game, so I didn't ever play it. I've still to this day never played the 5 remake that they did in this game, but man, everything on paper at launch, at announcement, sounded so good. But it just wasn't. We didn't even talk about Blackout. Blackout, for me, and again, this goes back to the original, if it was just launch week alone, Blackout would have been something that I would consider S tier. But the game at its core foundation, which I guess is very important, because, like, look, I'm talking about why the game sucks, and I'm going to get into it in a minute, but I'm talking about why this game sucked. But if you look at a game like Modern Warfare 2, it didn't have a lot of content. It didn't have a lot of post-launch content. Yeah, it had a couple maps. But, like, this was bare bones, and that was the way the old Call of Duties were. But this was bare bones in a different time, and it didn't work. And then when they finally added more, everything was locked behind a paywall, and it was disgusting. Like, they started a battle pass here, but it didn't work. It just didn't work. It was not good. It was hard to get anything. Everything became a very big paywall. I liked how at the end they changed it up at the very end of its life cycle, which was fine. But I already mentioned, first playthrough of this whole game, it was an S tier, but those things, like, ruined it for me. Like the monetization in this game, the lack of content, like Dead of the Night, there was no announcement. It just dropped randomly. Horrible. That's terrible. That is so not Call of Duty Black Ops. And then I'm not gonna lie, and I think this was budgetary reasoning, but they didn't bring back full cutscenes for Black Ops 4 Zombies. It was like cartoons. And that sucks, especially when you're finishing the zombie storyline. Not to mention, you're finishing the zombie storyline with expanded remakes of maps. Those are your staple core maps. This was bad. It was not good. It was not what the fans wanted, especially for a game that didn't have a campaign. Again, I'm not complaining about that because I don't really care for campaigns, But in a game like this where they said they're going to focus so hard on content, they didn't focus hard on content. They put a lot of work into Blackout. I like that. Blackout was a lot of fun. I think it's better than Warzone personally. I really liked Blackout. But the way they enhanced the game later on through the seasons just did this game such a disservice. It had a great foundation to go on, but they did not expand upon it or even improve it. They just let it kind of sit to die. And for that reason, I think it perfectly fit in the C tier where it could have been better and it needed improving, but it never got the improving, and that really is a shame. Black Ops 4 is one of those like uniquely special Call of Duties to me because I have very fond memories of it, but it just fell because it had so much potential that it didn't live up to, and that sucks. It really does suck. So yeah. Anyway, apparently, because I'm going in sequential order, apparently Call of Duty Mobile came out after this game, which I didn't realize. I started playing Call of Duty Mobile during Modern Warfare 2019, so yeah, I mean, I didn't realize that it came out, I guess technically, like around the time Black Ops 4, but believe it or not, guys, this is an S tier for me too. I love Call of Duty Mobile. I play it all the time on my phone. The multiplayer in this game is great because it is literally just like a Call of Duty Online, but for your phone. And if you have an iPad like I do, I literally just use my Xbox controller and play this game like it's a console game, and it plays so damn well. Like, this game is really, really fun. It has everything I want from a free-to-play Call of Duty game. Every map, like all the classic maps, it has all the guns, unlimited customization because it's free. Yes, there's a lot locked behind paywalls if you want them. I've never paid for anything and I still have a great time. And honestly, the what's it called? The Battle Royale in this game is great because they brought back Blackout, so I'm still playing Blackout, and they have their own map. I forget the name of it, but it is actually really, really good. This game is fun, and of course, yes, it's a mobile game, so you can't play it on console. That's fine. It's the only Call of Duty game that isn't a console game that I'm going to put on this list because it actually is fun. They just brought back zombies in this game, and they have Shino Numa, and from what I heard, they're also adding other maps to this game, and I just love it. I love that I could play what feels like a real console experience on my phone or on my iPad or even on my laptop if I AirPlay or something like that, and I get the full Call of Duty experience. This game is great. I don't know why people don't play this that much, but it is absolutely great. I have so much fun playing this game, and I play it a lot more than I'd like to admit. I play this game so much. I don't really like playing it on touch controls. I specifically like playing on controller. It is a lot of fun. I wish the controller vibrated when I played it, so it felt a little more like a console game, but I absolutely love it. I play the shit out of this game, and it's so much fun. If you haven't tried Call of Duty Mobile, it is an S-tier Call of Duty game, and I'm talking about it like it's sponsored or something. It's not. I just love this game. It is really fun, and actually, no, I was going to move it higher, but I don't think it deserves to be higher. Like, I don't think it's better than Black Ops 2 or something like that, but for what it is, it's an S-tier Call of Duty game. It's perfect. It has everything I want. All the classic maps, all the guns I love from, like, every Call of Duty game ever. It is literally Call of Duty Online, just not for console. That's all it is. It's awesome. It is so awesome. I really highly recommend it if you haven't played it. But anyway, we're in the new stretch. So there is people that talked about the advanced movement, how it was like a genre of games. Well, now we're hopping into the Warzone genre of games. It's Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Cold War, and Vanguard. And then we have Modern Warfare 2022, which I think is going to start its own 3-year cycle sort of thing. But anyway, so we have Modern Warfare, we have Black Ops Cold War, and we have Vanguard. And these games are extremely controversial, all three of these. So I'm going to really be interested to see what you have to say in the comments down below about these games. This one in particular, Modern Warfare 2019, is extremely controversial. The graphics, everyone can agree, the graphics are perfect in this game. Everyone can agree with that. The sound design is perfect in this game. But where it falls short for a lot of people is the campiness of this game, the skill-based matchmaking, the maps at launch and things like that. And I get all those things, I really do. But it's an S tier. It's an S tier. It's probably here. No, it's here. this is exactly the list. So if we're looking at S tier, it's Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 3, and then Modern Warfare 2019. It's an S tier Call of Duty. It is a perfect Call of Duty. I don't care what anyone says. I really don't. Like, this game is fucking perfect. Campy? Sure. Fine, but it's strategic. The only people I feel like have a problem with this game is Call of Duty YouTubers. I've never met a single soul in real life who doesn't like this game. This game sold fantastically, and there's a reason for it. It's because it's a good game. Everything about it is fantastic. Gunfight is perfect. Literally perfect. I loved that they have a small map variety for a new mode called Gunfight, and the Gunfight mode is perfect. I just love that. And then the multiplayer itself, yes, the maps were a little weird. They were a little campy. Totally get that. But everything else about it was perfect. Again, I already mentioned, there's no denying the graphics were great and the sound design was great. There's also no denying the gunsmith was great. There's no denying that the weapon variety in this game was great, and the attachment variety with the gunsmith is great. There's no denying these things, and these are very, very, very core elements that are so important in a Call of Duty, and if you nail them, it's going to be a good game. The mechanics in it were fantastic. Yes, I get it. There's a couple maps here that were like meh, like Piccadilly. That being said, Piccadilly is great in certain game modes. I love it in Search and Destroy. I love it in Hardpoint and Domination. Like, there's elements to it that are great, and that's what I like about this game. The variety of maps, even though some people hate them, the variety of maps is good for certain playstyles. And because they have that quick play feature where you could like filter through and shuffle through what you want to play instead of having to manually select, it makes it so it algorithmically picks maps that are good for certain game modes, and I love it. I love what they did in this game. The only thing that this game sucked at was survival, but no one really played it. I kind of roll it off as not even a part of this game because no one played it, so it's still an S tier with survival being shit. I'm just saying that. Like, the multiplayer was perfect. And then when Warzone came out, Warzone was near perfect, even though I preferred Blackout a little bit more because I liked the run and gun of Blackout just a little bit better. Warzone has always felt clunky to me, if that makes any weird sense. Like, I love Warzone, I really do. Like, I still play it. I love it. It's fun and all that, but I feel like Warzone feels so heavy and bloated, if that makes any weird sense. Like, even like the way you're like playing it, the way you're running, it feels slow. It feels clunky, if that makes any sense, and I think that's because it's so bloated. That's why I'm so excited for Modern Warfare 2's Warzone. But man, this game is perfect. I know people who would put it in F tier though, so yeah, like I said, it's very controversial. Whatever. Up next, we have Call of Duty Cold War. This is a tough one, because they're just like the others, it's controversial. There's a lot of people who love this game. I fucking hated this game. I really did. But I didn't hate it as much as I hated World War II. I'm still gonna put it in D tier, but I'm gonna put it above World War II. Now, don't get me wrong, the zombies in this game were fun, but they lacked soul. Like, the maps were good maps. They were fun to play, but there was no story. It felt a little too arcadey. Now, mind you, yes, Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare felt a little arcadey, but this game, for a Treyarch game, was disappointing in that aspect. The gameplay was fun. Like, it was fun. The map experience was fun. And the fact that there were free zombies maps, it was great and all that, but it lacked soul. And that is so not like Treyarch. The Easter eggs sucked in this game. They really did. There's not much here other than the ending, which you got to see Richtofen. That was cool, I guess. Multiplayer fucking sucked to me. I didn't like it. I didn't like how they tried to copy Gunfight in this game, and it just wasn't good. I didn't like the way it played. I didn't like the time to kill. I didn't like the guns. It just, fuck this game. I didn't like this game. That being said, it's better than World War II, and it kind of hurts me to put it in D tier, because I don't... You know what? I'm putting it in C tier, at the very bottom of C tier. This is really experience-based. I just didn't like this game, guys. Like, I really didn't. I didn't like how they didn't have really anything in Warzone for this game other than the guns, which clearly didn't, like, fit because they had to, like, make these games for the Modern Warfare's engine. And that's another thing that I didn't like about this game. You come out with something like Modern Warfare, and then you take a drastic step back by going back to the old system in Cold War. I just didn't like it. I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, on paper, like, I guess it could be a good game. People loved the campaign in this game and stuff like that. And I know Call of Duty creators who love this. I just fucking hated it. Like, I really did. I didn't like it. The zombies was fun, but I didn't play a lot of it because it wasn't like, it didn't suck me in. The maps were good, but like, yeah, it didn't suck me in. I don't know, like, it just is, like, I don't know. There's elements. I guess it does fit C tier well, because I think this game had more potential that it didn't fill. That being said, I feel like this game was kind of like a tribute to Call of Duty Black Ops, in the sense that I feel like this game was kind of like a Black Ops reboot, similar to how Modern Warfare was a reboot of the Modern Warfare franchise. I feel like that's similar to what they were going for here, but it just didn't pay off here. I don't know. This game is just disappointing to me. It really is. It's just disappointing. I don't like it. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I got to say about that one. We have two on this list. One's a no-brainer. Vanguard is a no-brainer. It's an F tier. Like, it's a no-brainer. D tier. I have it as D tier again, but whatever. It's a D tier, F tier Call of Duty game. It's trash. And that kind of sucks, because I loved Modern Warfare 2019, and this game had that foundation. It had the engine of it. It had the style of it. It had 16 multiplayer maps at launch, which, mind you, they were pretty good. But this game was so fucking buggy, and the developers just gave up on it, and the zombies was horrible in this game. Mind you, it was playable. Like, you could play it. It just wasn't good. Like, it wasn't good at all. This game was disappointing, man. It was just straight up disappointing. And that sucks. Like, it really does suck. They didn't support it. They gave up on this game. What else could I say about it? I'm not going to waste a lot of time on this game, because you already know this game just fucking sucks. Shino Numa, from what I heard, which I never played, it was good apparently. But that's it. Like, fuck this game. Yeah. Like, it had a good foundation. The devs clearly just gave up on it because they knew people didn't like it. That's what it felt like. And I don't appreciate that. Sledgehammer has not made good Call of Duty games. As you can see, Advanced Warfare's in a C tier. World War II's in F tier, D tier, whatever. Vanguard's in a D tier. I think they should just fire Sledgehammer as a primary developer and make them work on the other games as like a side developer. Fuck Sledgehammer games. I don't like them. I just don't like anything they've made. Whatever. And then we have Modern Warfare 2022. This game, Modern Warfare 2, I should say, 2022. This game is still brand new at the time of recording this. And again, I don't want to speak too soon, because I felt that Black Ops 4 was going to be an S tier the first couple weeks that the game came out. If I'm going based off of these first couple weeks, it's another S tier for me. It's actually higher than Modern Warfare 2019 for me. That being said, it's still brand new, and time will tell. For now, I'll keep it an S tier, but that one is heavily subject to change, and I actually don't want to give a full review on it yet, because I don't know. But based off of the multiplayer so far, yes, there are some bugs. Like, this game does have bugs in it, but the maps are perfect. I literally do think the maps are perfect in this game, all except for the border crossing map. But I don't even think that's bad. I just don't think it's the best map. And if that's being said, this is already off to a banger start with the map selection, the gun selection, and everything. This game is on track to beat Modern Warfare, but they need to add a lot to it. And if they don't add a lot to it, it's going to have the same fate as Black Ops 4. But right now, my current experience with it is it's better than Modern Warfare 2019 at launch. But yeah, that's my list. I know it's controversial, and I'm okay with that. I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments. I am extremely sick of talking, so I'm going to wrap it up here, and I'm going to put a link to a video right here where I talk about why the fuck is Gunfight not in Modern Warfare 2022 yet. If you want to watch that, go check it out here. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go rest my vocal cords now. Peace out.